Hey everyone, Aaron here again, Fast Forward Race Cars. Hey, I wanted to show you guys how I adjust valves on this big block Chevy. Quick and easy way to do it. Been doing it this way for years, and it's basically never fail. You follow this procedure, you can end up doing it real fast, and it's something that you really need to do and keep your eye on at the racetrack, because you know, if something's going on with your valve train, you can catch it real quick just by checking your valves. So this is a good thing to do. You know, just have it as your general maintenance when you're doing this. So I'm gonna show you here. All these rocker arms up here, these are the intake valves, okay? And obviously all the ones down here are the exhaust valves. So what we're gonna do is that when we adjust our valves, we're gonna start with the exhaust valve first. We're gonna start on the number 1 cylinder. We're gonna work our way this way, go to the back side of the engine, which would be 8, and then work our way that way. So this is how I do it, and it goes real quick. You get yourself in a rhythm, and you can do them pretty quick. So basically what you're gonna do is, you're gonna rotate the engine until the intake valve just closes. When the intake valve just closes, we're gonna do the exhaust valve. So basically we're always adjusting the exhaust valve first every time we go to the next cylinder. So I'm gonna rotate the engine. I'll show you right now on this intake valve. We're gonna break it. Just closes, valve is closed. We got some latch there. We're gonna check the exhaust. That's good. And we're gonna rotate the engine until the exhaust valve just opens, and then we're gonna check the intake valve. Like that. We're gonna go through the whole engine. We're gonna do this one. Just closes. Check the exhaust. Exhaust open. Check the intake. Go to this one. Closes. Check the exhaust. Exhaust open. Check the intake. Just closes. Check the exhaust. Exhaust open. Check the intake. That's another. That's how I do it. See how quick I was able to do that. Another good thing to do, tech tip for you guys, when you adjust your valves, get in the habit of taking a magnet. See if I got one, and grab one real quick. When you take your valve covers off, you're always gonna have oil down in here, and you can't really see anything down there. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take this magnet and you're just gonna drag it down through here. You're gonna drag here and you're gonna look, and you're gonna see if you got any metal particles on there. If you got any particles on there, you need to be looking real close to what's going on. Most likely, if you have some metal on there, it's probably a broken valve spring. And if you keep racing that engine with that broken valve spring, you'll eventually drop a valve. So you definitely don't want that. Just this simple maintenance trick here can save your motor, along with checking the valves. So get in the habit of just dragging this. If you see metal, start looking, man. Look at all areas, and you'll end up finding a broken spring. Maybe the inner one will be broken, and we keep these in the trailer, so you could do it real quick at the track. Swap them out, adjust your valves. You're back in the game again. So that's a little tech tip there. Another way, a thing I'm going to show you too, like when I adjust valves, this is kind of a feel thing, but when you get the hang of this, you're gonna be able to do this really quick. So I'll show you how I do it, and guys may do it different ways, but this just works for me, but it works real good. So okay, so let's say I want to adjust one of these valves. So I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to adjust this exhaust valve. So that's just closed. Okay, say this is good, but say this was loose and I want to adjust this. The way I go about doing this is I'll loosen this up. I'll back it off. So it's loose. It's really loose. So then I'll back off the adjuster nut, and then I'll just bring this down till it just touches. See, it's just holding in there. I mean, there's literally no pressure on there. Okay, I'll run this adjuster nut back down, and really, the trick here, I don't even call it a trick, it's just more of a feel thing. To adjust this right, I'll put this, the Allen wrench on there, and the wrench. I'll give the wrench just a quick pull like this, and then together with the Allen wrench and the wrench, I'll give it one more turn, like that. That locks it in real good, and look, adjust valve, that thing is perfect almost every time you do it that way. It's got just a little bit of drag on there. So if you give it a crank and then both of them a crank, you'll get that every time, and then you'll just be able to go right down the line, boom, 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 and within minutes you'll have your valves adjusted at the racetrack. We got this nitrous engine here, and we got this compression gauge hooked up, and what we're going to do here is we're going to rotate the engine over, and we're just going to write down the numbers or monitor the numbers of this engine. We like to do this on all our nitrous engines and any race engine that really we do, to keep an eye on the wellness of the engine. So what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the engine over about 3 times, and we're going to record the first hit of the gauge when the piston comes up and it starts building compression. This gauge is going to snap up to whatever number it does. We're going to keep rotating the engine like 3 times, and then whatever the second number is. And that's really important. That first number is really important to us because that's going to tell us if we're losing ring seal. If we do these numbers, and we have, say this one we're going to show you, it's going to be about 120 on the first hit. As we race this engine and we do our checks and do our regular maintenance, and we see that on the first hit of this gauge, that number starts going down, we know that cylinder is going away, and we need to keep an eye on it. So I'm going to show you real quick here what we do. So I got the gauge hooked up. I'm going to rotate the engine. I'm looking for the first hit of the gauge. So it snapped up to 120 and then went to like 150, 160. What I would do now is I would just check again to verify. They repeated. So what I would do is I'd write these numbers on my valve cover, 120, 150, 160, and I go down the line and do them all. This motor's fresh, this motor's new. We already ran it, the rings are sealed, so we know this engine is sound right now. This thing is ready to rock and roll. So we're going to write those numbers down on our valve cover, and as we're racing the motor and we're changing our plugs, adjusting our valves, this might be a check that we're going to do and to check the wellness of this engine. And like I said, if these numbers start going down, motor's wearing out, or you may have burned a piston or something. On a nitrous engines, it's real critical because it's real easy to burn a piston if you're not careful when you're spraying nitrous. Another thing is, like, if you're taking your plugs out and you're tuning your nitrous engine and the electrode on your spark plug is burnt in any way, that motor is hurt. I don't care what anyone tells you. I don't care who raced and said, oh, I took a plug, I was burnt, and I raced it for another week. You can do that. I'm not saying that you can, but what I am saying is that motor is hurt to some degree, and what's going to happen is it's going to keep getting hurt, and that cylinder is going to go away, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep an eye on this. But if you burn that strap on that spark plug, you just know that cylinder is hurt, guaranteed. It might last a week, it might last the race, but it's definitely hurt, and you need to be keeping an eye on it and eventually fix that. We're getting ready to spray the nitrous on this 588 big black Chevy, and I'm going to show you real quick the little checks we go through to make sure the timing is retarded when we spray the nitrous. This is a very critical step, because if we don't get the timing retarded, this engine will burn up instantaneously. I mean, if we have full timing in this engine, it'll burn 8 pistons like right now. So what I'm going to do is I have this tester hooked up, and what this tester does is actually simulates the engine running. I can actually turn these dials, and I can turn the RPM up, which is simulating the engine running. And the way this is going to work is I have these dials up. This is connected to the ignition box, and this is the timing retard here. And I have it set for right now to retard 14 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the knob, and then that's going to actually simulate RPM of the engine. And while that's doing that, when I hit the button, which is going to be this for the nitrous, we're going to be able to see that the timing is retarding in here. And that's the check that we really need to know, because if we were to run the engine and we were to spray the engine and the timing didn't come out, like I said, it would burn the engine up. So this verifies that part of it's going to be safe. Another thing I'm going to show you, normally I would turn off the ignition on this while I'm doing this, but I want to leave it on for just for demonstration purposes. I want to show you how intense this spark is on this thing. So right here, this is like a simulated spark plug, and when I turn on the RPM on this, I have it programmed to the timing can come out after 1,000 RPM, and I can adjust that for whatever I want. But for this test here, I just have the computer set for after 1,000 RPMs, which is I'm gonna make that say 1,000 or above. This will spark, and then I can hit my nitrous button and you'll see the timing retard. But I'm gonna show you how intense the spark is when I turn the RPM. It's a lot of people don't realize how intense the spark is, and this is why you never want to get shocked by high energy ignition, like if you're messing with this and you're turning your distributor, because this is what you're going to get shocked with. So I'm going to turn this on down here. Oop. The wire came off. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to turn it up. That's 500 RPM. For this test, because I have it programmed for 1,000, I'm going to run this to 1,000 RPM, and then I am going to hit the nitrous button, and then I'm going to show you that the timing is going to be retarded. Like I said, 1,100 RPM right now, 1107. So now, if the engine's running, and then we go to hit the nitrous, we should see the timing come out. 14 degrees. I let off the button. Timing goes back to normal timing that's inside the engine. Hit it again, pulls out 14 degrees. And that's the test right there. So now, we know when we go to spray the nitrous that the timing is working, and I can feel comfortable about spraying this and not the engine not burning up. We're here dynoing on this 588 big black Chevy nitrous engine. We're getting ready to do it right now, and you're gonna see it live. So here we go. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.